You send out party invitations and get a wall of maybe responses, or you get left on red and leaves you wondering if other parents are just too busy or too anxious, or they just don't want to connect anymore. The reality is we've accidentally, I'm going to say accidentally, I'll give people the benefit of the doubt, we've accidentally engineered genuine community out of our lives and replaced face-to-face relationships with digital convenience. And I think we've turned parenting into a solo performance instead of a shared journey. Today on the Happy Families podcast, we're breaking down why modern parents have become commitment phobic when it comes to socializing, and the surprisingly simple strategies that we can use to rebuild the village that our kids so desperately need. Stay with us. Welcome to the Happy Families podcast, real parenting solutions every day on Australia's most downloaded parenting podcast. We are Justin and Kylie Coulson, and every Tuesday on the pod, we answer your tricky questions about family and relationships and bringing up the kids, getting discipline right, all that kind of stuff. If you would like to submit a tricky question, we've got a super simple system at happyfamilies.com.au. Just scroll down to podcasts, click the record button, and start talking, just like Adele from Adelaide.
We are often reminded that a sense of community is important for our children. We hosted a birthday party for our teenage daughter. We invited a number of parents to join, and I found that parents were non-committal in their responses and the majority did not come. Is this a post-COVID effect? Why do parents not want to socialise with other parents? Thank you.
This is such a good question.
And it's like the bugbear of mine, because we love people, right? Like sometimes people are pretty annoying, but we love people. And when you make all this effort and no one shows up, it's like, why do I keep on trying? Maybe I should just stare at my Instagram or something. Like it's really hard, isn't it?
I think that too many of us have fallen into the trap and myth of thinking that we can do everything. Once upon a time, we used to come together as a village, right? A community that helped each other out.
Yeah, there's this concept called allo-parenting, A-L-L-O, allo-parenting, which is basically another way. I know that in your family, as you were being raised, everyone was like another mum, another auntie. It's almost like there's all these people who were there for you because quite often your mum couldn't be. And so you had all these other people who were happy to step in and be that surrogate mum figure.
And they didn't need to be asked. Actually, people just came to each other's aid.
Yeah. So the breakdown of so many of our societal structures is certainly contributing, and so is the digital world.
I don't think this is a response to COVID.
I was literally going to go there, Adele. I don't think that this is a post-COVID thing. It might be a convenient excuse. And I think that it's possible that we could argue that COVID in some ways accelerated or amplified what was a growing trend. But this was happening before COVID, and it's certainly kicked on since then. I reckon that there are three key reasons that so many parents are so non-committal now. Let's address those. We'll give you some solutions for what you can do to address the non-committalness, the lack of commitment that too many people are showing up with.
What's the first one?
There's just been a total collapse of what I would call enforced proximity. Enforced proximity sounds kind of rough. It sounds a little bit harsh, but pre-digital, you had no choice but to interact with people at school pickup, at the barbecue, at the shops, at the bus stop, at church, in the neighborhood. You just interacted with people, full stop, end of story. You had no say in it. Now we've gone fully convenience over connection. And there's no friction with face-to-face communications. We've literally engineered serendipitous social encounters out of our lives. We don't accidentally connect. Even when you walk into the school, you barely even say hello to the receptionist. Now you walk over to the iPad and sign in. Like I said, we've literally engineered those serendipitous moments out of our lives. We are ultra social. We're meant to walk down the street, see another human, and our eyes are supposed to light up, and we're supposed to nod our head and say, "Hi, good morning." Like that's what we're engineered to do, and we don't do it anymore. Our cities have become really big. We're really overstimulated. We've got so much on our mind. We've got our podcast going in our ears, and we miss the opportunities to press the flesh.
What I find so interesting about this is that we're literally going through life with what I would probably call a loneliness pandemic. People are more lonely than they've ever been. They feel more disconnected, and yet we've actually created it ourselves.
I've got some data on that. I wasn't planning on bringing it up, but as soon as you've raised it, a couple of weeks ago, the World Health Organization declared loneliness a public health threat on the same scale, if not greater, than the issue of smoking or obesity. 1 in 6 people on the planet now feels profoundly alone. And check this out for a stat. The World Health Organization estimates that it is responsible, loneliness that is responsible for more than 100 deaths every hour around the globe.
Wow.
We're talking about nearly 1 million deaths a year because of loneliness. And really the downstream effect of what I'm describing here is we've engineered these social encounters, these accidental, serendipitous, delightful moments where we talk to a stranger for 15 seconds just because it's the polite thing to do. As we've engineered all of those things out of our lives, we've therefore engineered out of our lives the opportunity for that serendipitous encounter to turn into a deeper relationship and ultimately a friendship. And when we fail to make the friendships that we need, we feel lonely. Data is really clear on this. Our young people are the most disconnected people on the planet. So what Adele's trying to do by getting all of these allo parents and neighbors and friends into the yard to have this barbecue and celebrate a teenage girl's birthday, that is what we're supposed to do. That's how we're designed. That's healthy. That's important. That's necessary. But people are pushing back. So, and part of it is because we've engineered it out of our lives, and therefore anxiety goes up when we might have to do it. So that's my first reason that this is happening.
Well, what's number 2?
The second one, I'll go through this one pretty quickly, and the third one as well, because we need to get to solutions. I think that we've forgotten that community is not about consumption. Community is about contribution and collaboration. Community is about creation. We create community together. We don't walk in and get community.
Yeah.
So too many people treat community like an economic marketplace.
Yeah. And if I walk in and I don't get anything out of it, then it's not a worthwhile activity.
Yeah. What's in it for me?
Yeah.
And I'm going to sound like my grandpa for a moment, but my granddad used to always say, you get out of something what you put into it.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to put something in, then you're not going to get anything out of it. And then you're going to say, well, it's rubbish anyway. But it's like you weren't putting anything into it. We've got to start asking ourselves what we can do to contribute rather than what's in it for me.
And number 3?
Yeah, the third thing that I think is leading to this non-commitment on the part of parents is that parents just feel like they're in a chronic state of emotional and cognitive overload. Like we're carrying our stress, we're carrying our stress about our kids, and we're carrying and absorbing our kids' stress, and we're feeling depleted. And you know what I think is even bigger than all of this? I know we're dealing with cost of living issues and mortgages and rents and the fact that apples are like $6 a kilo or whatever it is. But I think that the biggest source of our chronic state of emotional and cognitive overload is that we don't put our stupid phones away, and we are so overstimulated. There is so much noise in our lives. I'm not just talking about the noise that you hear with your ears. I'm talking about the noise that makes your brain never switch off. There's so much of that going on that when somebody says, would you like to come over for a barbecue on Saturday afternoon? We go, I just can't deal with it. I'm so overstimulated. I can't think clearly enough to even work out if I want to pull out my diary and see if I've got anything on that day or not.
I remember when the kids were younger, phones weren't as big a challenge as they are now. And the overload that I felt at that point in my life made me feel like any social interaction was a waste of my time because there were so many other mundane household tasks, parenting related tasks that required my time and effort and energy that I couldn't possibly spend time with other parents. That was before phones became an issue. And now we've got the added noise of all of that on top of it.
And all the social platforms and so on. Yeah, it's massive. So after the break, we need to talk about I've got 4 solutions, but we'll have to do them really fast. 4 solutions to help Adele from Adelaide and any other parent who's going, why is everyone so non-committal, to create a sense of relationship and community for themselves and for their kids. Okay, Kylie, I have 4 big solutions that can help to create a greater sense of relationship, community, and even commitment in the lives of our children, ourselves, and the people that we associate with. Let's kick it off. I highlighted the first issue that I see as driving these challenges is not COVID, but the collapse of enforced proximity. So I'm just going to say it really simple. We need to have more proximity. We need to actually force proximity again. And what I mean by that is we want to have low stakes, high frequency interactions. Low stakes, high frequency, lots and lots of touch points. So don't wait for the big birthday bash. Don't wait for anything that could imply some level of pressure.
Well, inviting a stranger who you've not had any time with over for a dinner party feels like a big commitment.
We did something a couple of months ago. Somebody that I'd met through cycling, I was like, hey, you should come over. Let's just have a morning tea. And it was actually a bit awkward. It was a bit weird. They showed up. It was just the four of us sitting in the dining room and having this, because you were there and he brought his wife as well. It was really nice. I'm glad we did it, but it was a bit awkward. It felt like it was 3 steps too far. Like we just dove in head first instead of wading in ankle deep, then knee deep, then waist deep. It just felt a little bit funny. But the lower stakes, more frequent touch points mean that we have more social interaction. We make the social interaction habitual. Maybe it's coffee catch-ups. Maybe it's going for walks, casual gatherings. Do you remember once upon a time, people used to pop in? Like we used to say, hey, let's go and catch up with those friends. And we would literally go over to their house and knock on the door and say, hey, we were just driving by and thought we'd say hi. Like that was normal once upon a time.
It's not normal now.
Anxiety inducing.
Oh, yeah.
Big time. Absolutely.
Number 2?
So the second thing that I want to highlight is I mentioned that it's about what we put in rather than what's in it for me. I think that a really nice way to do this would be to set up gatherings so that they're not about the adults, but instead make it all about the kids, not the parents. That way you get to drop the overwhelming self-consciousness and the worry about things. Just have a pizza party or go down to the park and watch the kids run around and play and have a box of Lamingtons or something on the table. Less defensiveness, a whole more focus on the kids just makes life way easier.
I'm going to push back on that a little.
Yeah.
I actually think that what parents often want is to not have to worry about the kids and an opportunity to do something without the kids, which is what I think she's actually experiencing. Parents are dropping their children off and they're thinking, great, I have 2 hours to myself. She's talking about a teenage party, but I actually think that that's what the problem is from my experience. And I think that parents are going to be more likely to respond to having an opportunity to catch up with other adults without children.
Yeah,
I also think...
Depends on the stakes and how well you know those parents.
It does, but I also think in this case, I know in our children's friendship circles that plenty of those teenagers will have said, please do not come to the party.
Yes.
So you're dealing with that as well. And parents wanting to not embarrass their kids or overstep their boundaries and mark and stuff like that. So I think this is actually a little bit complicated.
Okay, the third and fourth things, I'm going to make them really quick, really simple. In terms of the overstimulation and the fact that we just don't have enough emotional and cognitive bandwidth, I'm just going to suggest we've got to create it. And the best way to create it is to turn our phones off or have some downtime away from our phones. Set a little 20-minute appointment every day with yourself. Put it in the diary so that you can just breathe. We should do a podcast about that. I think it's necessary because everyone says they're so busy. And yet when you look at your screen time, it's like, whoa, how did I use 3 hours on my screen today? Like, I don't know how I did that. I think I'm really, really busy, but I've got 3 hours to look at Instagram, look at news.com and play Candy Crush or whatever it is, right?
So this is curious to me as well. You're talking about this idea of downtime. So parents that aren't showing up to a party are seeing this as downtime, right? But the very thing that they actually need for downtime is connection.
Right.
We actually need connection.
Yes, that just,
and we push against it because we think that it's going to take from us, but it actually gives us.
So the last thing that I want to highlight, which builds on what you've just said, my fourth and final solution for Adele, is that success is about facing and enduring rejection again and again and again. And the more you're willing to face rejection and endure rejection, the more likely it is that you'll finally find somebody who is your people. And once you find them, you discover the very real truth, to use it, to say a little bit more succinctly than you, other people matter. Other people matter. Adele, I think the community you're craving already exists. It's just that it's hiding behind the same fears and the overwhelm that you're probably feeling. So remember, start small, show up, really authentically.
Just start with one parent. Like, don't try and make it bigger than it needs to be. Just start with one person.
Yeah, and your kids need you to do it. They'll watch you build connection. You go first and keep on trying because it feels so rewarding when it works. We really hope that this is a useful answer, not just for you, Adele, but for every parent who's craving a little bit more connection and trying to get beyond the loneliness and the lack of community that exists for so many people. If you'd like to submit a tricky question, we've got a super simple system at happyfamilies.com.au. You just scroll down to podcasts on the website, click the record button and start talking, or you can send us a voice memo to podcasts@happyfamilies.com.au. Another tricky question next Tuesday. Tomorrow on the pod, I can't wait to share this conversation that I've just had with one of Australia's leading education consultants, a guy by the name of Adam Voigt. Adam runs an organisation called Real Schools, and we talk about all the big issues that are affecting parents in schools today. It's a don't miss it kind of episode. I'll see you tomorrow on the pod. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. Mim Hammonds gives us all the research, admin and other support that we need. And if you'd like more information and resources to make your family happier, you'll find it at happyfamilies.com.au.